In the last video, we looked at how overall qualities of stroke and proportion are largely responsible for how a typeface appears in text. But although the details of individual letter forms are usually invisible at small scale, it's still important to look at letters up close and to be able to identify their features and to be able to describe them. So in this video, we're going to look at the anatomy of letter forms. The two fundamental visual elements of a letter that form the letter are the stroke, which is the black part of the letter, and the counter, which is the white part of a letter. Because the counter is often bigger than the stroke area is, some typographers argue that when we read type at a small scale, we're actually recognizing the counters of the type rather than the strokes. Roman letters have been around for a long time, so there's a lot of esoteric terminology for describing their different parts. Let's have a look at some of them. The main vertical part of a stroke is called its stem, and the end parts of a stroke are called their terminal. This rounded kind of terminal is called a laceral, and this kind is called a spur. The rounded corner that's often formed in letters are called bowls. Many parts of letters are often named after human body parts. This is a leg, and this is a shoulder. This part of a G is called the ear, and the inside counter of an E is the eye. And in the center part of an S or other curved letters, this is known as the spine. All letter forms are constructed in a relationship to set an invisible line of metrics that define their proportions. The X height, which we've already discussed, defines the height of the main body of a lowercase letter. Any part of a lowercase letter form that extends above the X height is called the ascender. The baseline is where all the letters sit in type. And any part of a letter that extends below the baseline is called the descender. In many typefaces, uppercase letters are actually slightly shorter than their ascenders, so their height is defined by a cap height metric. As you can see, curved parts of the letters are actually extend a little bit above that X height and the base line. This is because, from a distance, our eyes see circles as smaller than squares, so curved elements are made slightly larger in order to compensate. Now, there's much more terminology for describing letter forms, but this will give you enough vocabulary to begin to describe and understand the different features of a typeface.